have come looking for fruit on this fig tree, but have found none. Cut it down. Why should it keep the ground useless?" In reply he said to him, "Master, leave it alone for 1 more year until I dig around it and put on manure. If it produces fruit in the future, well and good. But if not, then cut it down." Luke 13. 6-9. For more than 3 years, Jesus has been trying to cultivate faith among the Jews. Yet, relatively few have become disciples and can be considered fruitage of his labors. Now, in the 4th year of his ministry, he is intensifying his efforts. It is as if he were digging and putting fertilizer around the Jewish fig tree by preaching and teaching in Judea and Perea. With what results? Only a small number of Jews respond. As a whole, the nation refuses to repent and is now in line for destruction. That lack of response on the part of most once again comes to the fore shortly after our destruction is ahead. Luke 13. 1-21, 184, Ward on a Sabbath. Jesus is teaching in a synagogue. He sees a woman who, because a demon is afflicting her, has been bent double for 18 years. Showing compassion, Jesus tells her, "Woman, you are released from your weakness." Luke 13. 12. Jesus lays his hands on her, and instantly she straightens up and starts to glorify God. That angers the presiding officer of the synagogue, who says, "There are 6 days on which work ought to be done. So come and be cured on those days, and not on the Sabbath day." Luke 13. 14. That officer is not denying that Jesus has the power to heal. Rather, he is condemning the people for coming to be healed on the Sabbath. Jesus responds with clear logic. "Hypocrites, does not each one of you on the Sabbath untie his bull or his donkey from the stall and lead it away to give it something to drink? Should not this woman, who is a daughter of Abraham and whom Satan held bound for 18 years, be released from this bondage on the Sabbath day?" Luke 13. 15, 16. The opposers feel shame, but the crowds rejoice over the glorious things they are seeing Jesus do. Then Jesus repeats here in Judea 2 prophetic illustrations regarding the kingdom, which he had related earlier from a boat on the Sea of Galilee. Matthew 13. 31-33. Luke 13. 18-21. Jesus draws a lesson from 2 tragedies. Crippled woman healed on the Sabbath. What 2 tragedies does Jesus use to provide a warning, and what is the warning? How does the illustration of the unfruitful fig tree highlight the situation of the Jewish nation? Over what is the presiding officer of the synagogue critical, and how does Jesus expose the man's hypocrisy? 79, 185. As Jesus continues teaching in Judea, he now draws on something that his listeners can easily picture. Sheep and sheepfolds. But he is speaking illustratively. The Jews may recall David's words. "Jehovah is my shepherd. I will lack nothing. In grassy pastures he makes me lie down." Psalm 23. 1, 2. In another psalm, David invited the nation. "Let us kneel before Jehovah our Maker. For he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture." Psalm 95. 6, 7. Yes, the Israelites under the law were long likened to a flock of sheep. These sheep have been in a sheepfold in that they were born under the Mosaic law covenant. The law served as a fence, separating them from the corrupting practices of people not under this arrangement. Some Israelites, however, mistreated God's flock. Jesus states, "Most truly I say to you, the one who does not enter into the sheepfold through the door but climbs in by another way, that one is a thief and a plunderer. But the one who enters through the door is the shepherd of the sheep." John 10. 1, 2. The people may think of men who have claimed to be the Messiah, or Christ. These are like thieves and plunderers. The people should not follow such impostors. Rather, they should follow the shepherd of the sheep, about whom Jesus says, "The doorkeeper opens to this one, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought all his own out, he goes ahead of them, and the sheep follow him, because they know his voice. They will by no means follow a stranger but will flee from him, because they do not know the voice of strangers." John 10. 3-5. Earlier, John the